opportunity appears, don't pull down the shade. Such a window of opportunity is put forth on a virtual platform by our prestigious school, DLDAV Model School, Shalimar Bagh, and our honorable principal, Mrs. Reena Rajpal ma'am. So, without any further ado, let's invite our esteemed guest of the day, Ms. Surbhi Goyal, Senior Energy Specialist in the renowned World Bank, with more than 13 years there in the World Bank's Energy and Extractive Global Practice. She is leading some of the most innovative projects in renewable energy sector and been recognized as one of the Asia's most influential women in renewable energy. As India expanded its cleaner energy targets as part of nationally determined contributions, the World Bank also aligned its strategy to help India in achieving the same by developing concessional funds where public sector has an advantage. Some of such projects in her portfolio includes support to the MNRD Solar Park scheme by facilitating shared infrastructure facilities through Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency Limited. 750 megawatts Riva Solar Park was one of such projects that set the milestone in solar energy sector and was recently dedicated to the nation by Honorable PM Narendra Modi. She is leading an engagement with Solar Energy Corporation of India Limited in promoting nascent technologies in renewable energy, such as floating solar, solar wind hybrid, and battery energy storage solutions. The objective is to bring nascent technologies in the mainstream by absorbing the early mover risk in the sector. Ms. Goyal is also working with the Ministry of Power in deepening the wholesale power markets in the country. She also led the bank's multi-billion portfolio with Power Grid Corporation of India Limited, the country's central transmission utility, and was an integral part of achieving its motto of One Nation, One Grid, One Frequency. He holds a master's degree in economics from Delhi School of Economics. If any student or parent has question, it will be taken up towards the end through the raise hand feature. Ma'am, please come forward and enlighten us for shaping up of our curriculum.
Thank you so much, Geeta ma'am, and thank you so much, Srishti. I now am realizing that I should have edited my brief profile for meeting the requirements because this is more technical. I do not know how many of you were able to, understand most of the technical jargon used there, but I will be more careful next time. I'm so sorry about it. But as we go along, in today's discussion, I will definitely, elaborate a bit more on what I have been working on and from where we started in terms of the journey, in terms of what the decisions I had to take, what kind of challenges I faced. So I will keep giving you bits and pieces of those nuggets of my own journey in between. But thank you so much for listening to me, tuning in today, and I hope that you will be enjoying this session. I request that whenever you have an issue, any constraint that you're that appears in your mind about any of the areas that we will be discussing today, please feel free to put that on the chat, and I'll try my best to take the questions. I'm not very much on that 30 minutes of discussion or 20 minutes of my speaking. I would want it to be more interactive. So please feel free to put in as many questions, clarifications that you may need. And in any case, Geeta ma'am has my number. She has my coordinates. So any questions that are not answered, please feel free to let her know, and I will be more than happy to address them and respond back. So again, thank you so much for listening to me today. And so for me, as Srishti mentioned, I am 2000. I'm also missing out on my own year of passing out from DAV. So I'm from the batch of 2000. It's like 21 years now. So I'm quite old, as you can make out. So so the journey has been very eventful for me. So after I chose commerce with mathematics, of course, after 12th, each and every one of us have that kind of dilemma. What should we do? What should be our next approach? There are so many options. There is so much of competition. How would one fare? What should one do? There are so many uncertainties around it, and rightly so, because not everything is in our control. I think that is the most important point that you all must consider. Do not blame yourself that because even after scoring 98%, you are unable to make through DU list, there is no problem at all with your performance. It is the country's culture that has become like that. You have to have 100%, which in our age, it was like 85%, 90% was the outermost limit, I would say. So for you, as a next generation, the challenges are much higher. But do not take anything personally. That would be my first and foremost advice. There are so many opportunities out there, even for the people who are not so much inclined in academics. So this, discussion that I would have is, again, there would be bits and pieces about the people who also want to expand their horizons beyond just academics. So do not lose heart. There is something definitely out there, and you will find your interest. Just keep exploring, just be more proactive. As far as I am concerned, I did my bachelor's in economics from Delhi University, and after a lot of eventful journey, I got through master's in economics in Delhi School of Economics. I then joined a consulting firm. Consulting firm was ICRA Management Consulting Services, which is a firm of ICRA Credit Rating Agency. And after a couple of years spending there, then I got a break in World Bank, and since then I have been there. Now, having said so, this all looks very, smooth sailing thing. But I think as soon as I stepped out of school, my real life, battle started. I didn't apply for many of the colleges, for many of the courses, because I was very focused. No, no, no. I want my eco honors only. I want either BCom honors, and I will not apply in more than 10 colleges. I really wanted to get in. And the blow came to me first when I could not make through any of the first list. And because I didn't apply in the other colleges, I couldn't make through the first list or second list or even third list for any other colleges. So you can imagine what kind of tension I went through. But God was kind. After three waiting lists, I still didn't get through anyone, and then waiting list came up, and I was there. And I was so thankful to the God. I was like almost in tears. I was in depression. My parents, they were so much under stress. So, this was my first advice to you, that please apply to whatever courses you can. Do not leave out any stone unturned. Apply in all the colleges, apply in all the universities, because that is very, very, very important. I was lucky even to get to the waiting list. If I had not, imagine what would I be? I may not be sitting here. I may be somewhere in, trauma center, battling with my depression, because I was so confident about myself. How can I be rejected? So that is something that one must always keep in mind. But then after that also, this is very important, I think, that you keep exploring more options, in the sense that I wasn't prepared for a bank like World Bank. And World Bank, I'm not sure how many of you know. If you can quickly raise your hands, it would be helpful for me to let you know a bit more about it. So I do not see any hands raised. Maybe most of you may not be aware. Okay, Rishej knows about it. Very good. At least one of you. I didn't. So, okay, many colleagues are, okay, great, thank you so much. Three hands, four. Oh, perfect. But when I actually was working with consulting, you imagine, then I didn't know what World Bank was about. I didn't know what development banker means. So, opportunities will come your way. That's what I'm trying to say. I will touch upon what development banks like World Bank does. But important is that keep focusing on whatever you are doing, and opportunities will open up. Now, I'm sure that you have already something in your mind. You must have been assessing your own interests as you are in your school. See, sometimes we feel that in the school, 11th, 12th, we have to do so much of mugging up, accounting, commerce, and economics, what all role they will play. So there is, of course, a bit of that kind of gap between what we understand and how we apply. Not that we do not apply, but how. That if we are learning, for instance, economics, macroeconomics, or policy matters, how is it going to help me in the future? But what is important is to keep figuring out that, does this interest you? Does this subject is like, this is the one which I really want to dig deeper into, really want to pursue, and try to explore bit by bit. That is how you will unearth your own interests. That is how you will be able to pick the career of your choice. See, when you pick a career, it's not, I always say that marriage comes even later, but career comes before you. So it's a career that you marry with. Whatever comes along with it, you have to pull it along. So if you do not like your career, you may end up being a very sad soul, which nobody wants, right? So explore all these subjects, find your strengths, find your weaknesses, work on your weaknesses because you have to score good in 11th and 12th, but keep on working towards your strengths and find the opportunities in those areas more. I'm not saying do not apply again for the areas where you do not have much interest, apply there also, but try to focus and unearth whatever opportunities you can in all those areas. Now, quickly, one more minute on what World Bank does. So we are a development bank, and what is development bank? It's completely different from a commercial bank. Commercial banks are like your, Indian Bank, your Axis Bank, your ICICI, your IDBIs, not ICICI. I'm so sorry, IDBI, HDFC. Whereas we are more focused on development. What we do is that we try to bring all the people who have been left behind. As you read in economics, the regional or economic disparities, we try to bridge that gap. We try to bring infrastructure facilities, for instance, so that we can, in the entire investment, build in the environmental norms so that environment is not damaged. Even if it's being damaged, how we can replenish it, there are adequate measures there. Social, there are people who will be working there in a construction site, but again, how are we providing the labor facilities to them? The communities from whom you have taken the land, they might not be able to sustain their livelihood because the patch of land where you are building a project, they might be using it for their own little agri farm, or maybe for their own livelihood purposes in terms of cattle grazing, etc. They might be putting up their shops there, whatever. So you are impacting the social fabric of a given project, right? So we try to be as inclusive as possible and also try to develop the economy by contributing to it. So this is what development banker means, that you are not looking at just investment. I need my, school to be put up here and not cared about what's happening to the surrounding environment. So this is what development bank is all about. Now, having said so, there are multiple things that you can, figure out. And I'm sure most of you must have gone through the various opportunities that are available, but there are fields like, for instance, banking, which I think is very promising. There are multiple ways in which one can go through the banking sector. Again, I would reiterate, identify your strengths, identify your interests, set your goals, try to achieve them, understand the job market, and focus on them. But till the time you have been successful in one of them, do not leave behind other fields as well, because you never know what may come as a surprise to you, right? Also, as I mentioned, that newer fields are coming up every day. So do not get disheartened. So when I talk about, for instance, banking, so earlier, when in my days, right, I'm talking about like 2 decades ago, and I feel, very old when I say so. So when we talk about banking, there are two segments: commercial banking and investment banking. In my days, in olden days, commercial banking was more prevalent, but investment banking wasn't there. It was there, but it was like, very top profile people, and who are like very studious and who would just focus and do nothing on any other thing, would go into that segment. So I would consider myself as studious, but not as studious or as lucky to get into the investment banking. But then majority of the people did go towards commercial. And within commercial, again, you have public sector banks and you have private sector banks, and then you have international banks. And international banks would, of course, majorly fall across the various categories. So when you are entering into the public sector banks, I'm sure you know about the bank PO exams that you may need to appear for if you want to really get to the public sector. For the private and international banks, they look at the degrees, the credentials that you have built in over the time, and that is how they will try to launch their own hiring processes. and that is how you can then take on the further opportunities there. So these are like highly paid jobs, of course, depending on which segment you are. The more managerial function you get into, the higher you are paid. The more customer focused you are, of course, that is relatively less skilled as compared to the managerial jobs, but still a good opportunity. So keep adding to the bouquet of your own qualifications if you're getting into the fields. On the investment banking, I think that is one of the areas which many of you may want to consider. It is a very high valued job profile in the country, internationally, and wherever you speak about, investment bankers are really sought after. And what investment banker does essentially, you must have heard about in your business uh, studies subject about mergers, acquisitions, raising capital, debt, equity. If you are raising debt, which debt we should focus on, whether it should be from the multilateral banks or whether it should be from, the commercial banks, international banks, what kind of funds, etc. we need. So that kind of strategy is what investment bankers does. And when we talk about this, there are plethora of degrees. There is no as such set, requirement or course at least at the bachelor's level, which is more of your interest. BCom honors is there, BBA is there, MBA, of course, after doing your bachelor's, BA in finance is there, bachelor's in economics also. So all these degrees may lead you to the investment banking segment if you want to. So banking is one of the segments where many people would be interested and would continue to focus on. But completely opposite to the banking is the corporate finance. Now you are on the other side of the table. Being a banker, I would evaluate your proposal that, oh, Surbi has brought me this power sector project. Being a banker, let me wear my hat. If my technical hat, if my project meets the technical criteria that I can support. If it's high risk, I may not want to support you or may charge you extra in rate of interest. But when I'm on the other side, like when I'm the project developer myself, I'm wearing a hat of corporate finance. And there are then multiple options within the corporate finance. So when you are at, corporate office, like within the firm, you have corporate offices and then you have field offices. Field offices are generally executionary kind of roles where you are on the site, you're getting the construction done. But corporate office is very important because it holds the heart of the organization, because it will decide that for me to have this power plant installed, where should I get the funds from? Whether I am meeting the Companies Act, whether I am able to meet the requirements of the auditors. All this rests with the corporate finance team, which is at the center of the firm. So when you are looking at the corporate level, there are multiple degrees. I'm sure this is no new to you, like chartered accountant. You have certified financial advisory, so analytical services, which are generally portfolio managers. You can be company secretary, which is more legal oriented. CA is more accounts oriented. Company secretary is more legal oriented. Then there are, I would, go a bit beyond now just project finance or corporate finance. There are these insurance firms, which is again a very, sought after, I would say, jobs in the finance segment itself. So insurance companies generally hire actuaries, and actuaries, I would say again, like an investment banker, is a very, very much sought after, very highly paying job profile. But of course, it's not as easy. Actuaries takes a bit of time. I have seen many people who have cracked through it. Maybe it's just in my mind. Sorry if I am also, reflecting my own risks or fears, which I had personally. But please do not go by my, so to say, difficulties that I faced. Please take your own call. Do not get colored by anybody else's, I would say, risks that they may perceive. But actually, this is something that if you have really a rigor for numbers, must look for it. It's one of the most reputed and respected segments in the commerce. So please do watch out for it if you are really interested. It basically, what it does is it looks at the probability of a given risk of any future event that may happen. And if it happens, then what do I need to take as a step? For instance, if I have taken a health insurance, you know, should I be, giving this health insurance to a person who is age 60 plus, has diabetes, has blood pressure? If yes, what kind of premium should I charge? What is the probability that this person will dip into this pot of money? So all these risks are taken together, and that is what the actuaries generally do. Sounds very exciting, and there are a lot of probabilities and economics and econometrics and a lot of accounting, of course, not accounting in the true sense like business accounting, but in terms of the numbers and all comes into the picture. Another area which you must consider is the financial planning and accounting, which is about the certified financial planners, and they are also very very much sought after positions, very high profile ones. So that is another area. I'm trying to, go quickly because I have multiple things to let you know. And I really want to spend at least 15 to 20 minutes for the question and answers. Then there is another area on the risk management. Now, what does risk management does? Now, again, I'm circling back to the organization where I was talking about the corporate finance. In the risk management, if I have set up a business, I would need to know what my competitors are, what they are doing, what kind of strategies are there, what kind of technologies are out there. What is the reputational risk for me if I am getting into a coal mining business and across the globe, the climate change is a big concern. Would I have a future? Plastic, for instance, should I get into the plastic manufacturing? What kind of customers do I have? Is it like very small, very fragmented customers? So I have to accordingly devise my marketing strategy, my communications strategy. So what, kind of interests does the stakeholders have? What kind of employee strength I would need? How much of asset base would I need? So that is where the risk management comes in. There are degrees which are available on risk management also. There are bachelors also, if I'm not mistaken, but definitely there are masters in risk management. And generally it is preferred to go in, but it becomes a very specific field. So as you grow in your bachelors, keep looking out for these kind of opportunities. Then even the people with economics, accounting, and finance degrees can get into the risk management, but the degree in risk management itself becomes very specific and is generally preferred over others. Then there are investor relationships that you can get into, in the sense that if you're holding, so there are these high net worth individuals. Again, in economics term, what I'm trying to do is to bring the real life concepts to the work that you are, or the concepts you are learning from your classes. So high net worth individuals generally prefer to have their own portfolio managers. They would like to have their own investor relationships, and that is how these kind of innovative fields or new fields are appearing across the board. Then there are treasury function is like a treasurer, what you do in the school also, if you are in a house or if you have held any of these positions. So treasurer or the treasury is where you do all the work about the planning, the budgeting, the financial oversight in terms of auditors and compliances, funding and fundraising. How would you go about it? So this becomes even more specific within the corporate finance, right? Corporate finance is more about general upkeep of the accounting system of the company, but it becomes even a more specialized division or segment within the corporate finance. And treasury goes beyond corporate, it goes into the banking segment also. And mergers and acquisitions, I have already spoken about. Multilateral Development Bank, where I work, World Bank, there are multiple such banks out there now because everybody is in the need of development. There is Asian Development Bank, there is AIIB, then you have New Development Bank coming up, then there is World Solar Bank, which was supposed to be coming up. Now it's being renamed. Then there are bilateral banks. Multilateral means when you have multiple countries represented on it. Bilateral Development Bank, when you have one-on-one kind of MOU with a given country. So with Germany, we have, it is KfW, the name of the bank. Then you have with the French, it's called AFD, and I cannot expand it because it's in French. So please pardon me for that. You have Japan, where you have JICA. Then there are similar many such banks, and they're highly paid jobs. They're highly reputed. They are, most of them, at least multilateral. At least World Bank comes under United Nations, so we are, like, so to say, almost equivalent to, um, you know. Embassy officials. We get a special pass even on the airports. So these are the perks generally what I'm trying to, impress you upon, that there are multiple things, and I wasn't aware that this is the thing that you would experience. It's like a wow factor at times, right? But you have to have that, kind of angle for development, because it's not like, oh my god, my project 8 months mein main solar laga sakta hu, but this is taking like 2 years, because you're bringing along everybody together. So it's much longer and little slower process. But then there are multilateral banks, and then there are private segments also to it, in the sense that I am where working, it's a public oriented engagement where I work with government, whereas our sister concern, for instance, International Finance Corporation, they work with private sector, and they are most fast churning, very highly paid jobs, again, very much respected, and they look at hardcore financial evaluations. I do not know if how much detail I'm going into, but when you are getting into a project, you need to hire, for instance, a company to construct a project for yourself. I cannot do so. We cannot go and construct the entire power plant on my own. I need people, I need firms. So how to hire those firms so that they do give us competitive prices? That is called transaction advisory services, which means that you develop the procurement process, you develop how the tenders should be floated, what kind of clauses should be there. So this again is, what I'm trying to impress you upon is not that I'm giving you an information overload, but there are just too many options out there. You just need to have a nag of it. Then just quickly, another 3 minutes, and I need to have 15 minutes of discussion. So there are other things like civil services, of course, IES, highly respected, and this is the way that you can make a dent in the system. You are taking the decisions for the country. Please, I would suggest, if you are appearing for that, please be a good one. Country needs good people. Not every civil services aspirant who has turned bureaucrat are good. Please have your heart in the right place. We have to contribute to the country who has invested so much in us. So that is one. For that, you have to appear for an exam. Stock markets, again, is another area where you may want to consider if you have that nag. Equity research and other options are available. Of course, consulting is always there. There are these big four companies like KPMG, Deloitte. Then you have Ernst and Young. Then the fourth one is Deloitte, KPMG, PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers. They all are, at least PwC and KPMG and Deloitte are more an audit, but they also have very, very, very strong consulting divisions. Credit rating agencies like ICRA, CRISIL, Fitch Ratings, CARE, they all also look at, commerce students. So just one last more minute, what I'm driving towards is, there are just many, many, many opportunities for you there. Find your strengths. Even if you do not fit in any of these, there are multiple new areas which are emerging. If you are that kind of person who really need to be on the edge, digitization is coming very, very big way. Artificial intelligence, applications of blockchain, these are the areas where how you bring your IT perspectives to the applications, right? That is coming very much into full force. That I think is another area. Then there are, at least if I can speak about energy, there are many new focus areas which are emerging over last many years because of the climate change. Focus is on renewable energy, and renewable energy means which draws energy from the nature, solar, wind, etc. So within that, there are newer opportunities, like for instance, on green hydrogen, batteries. These are going to stay there for next decade, and this is the point in time when you will be graduating, doing your post graduation, and entering the job market. Look out for these opportunities. Try to see what is going to happen in a decade from today, because you will be entering somewhere 5 years from now in that job market, or 6 years for 11th class, or maybe 7 years. right? Depending on which course you choose. So you will be just entering there when these opportunities will be fully ripe. Most of them may not be commercially ripe at the moment, and still research work is going on. But by the time you hit the job market, such kind of areas will be very important. Look out for our next 10 years of technologies, and which are going to be there by 2030. And then, last but not the least, I have overrun on my speech, is that good news for girls and not so good news for boys. I do not know how you treat it, but the increasing focus of the government, of the public sector, of the private sector, of the international agencies is to see a balanced growth in the gender, opportunities. So females are being, asked to take up the managerial roles. Earlier, they were mostly on the, accounting, finance, and HR roles, but now they are being pushed to go in for further higher roles in the boards. For instance, in the board of directors, I'm sure you might have read this already. The Companies Act has asked for at least one woman member to be the independent director. So opportunities are opening up. So girls, please, 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 please do not be disheartened, or do not think that, oh no, ultimately I have to go for marriage and then I may have to compromise. Uh, Companies are becoming more and more flexible for accommodating your life events. So please do not think like that I have just 5 years of career. They do give you adequate opportunities to adjust to the newer lives. And boys, please, as you move forward, you have to be considerate, and both are now seen equal in the future also. Even today, even in my area of work and all, I see that how men are now being more supportive. So for girls specifically, I know boys will definitely have that mindset, and girls increasingly will have, but please, please, please do not drop out of the job markets. You are required there. There are plethora of opportunities there. Maybe I'll stop there.
Thank you very much, Survi. Yes, students, better you can have your questions. Please raise your hand. Parth. Okay. Yes, beta. Yes, Parth. Beta. Yes. Yes, beta. Switch on your videos and you can ask your question. Okay, Jakshit, you can go ahead, beta.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I want to ask, like you have told about AI and the digitization. So from where we can get the knowledge, as many people don't indulge in these things now. So we don't have experience as much. From where we can take that.
Sure, I think that's a very valid point, Yakshit. And I would say that in most of the cases, like what all I have mentioned, you may not be having the knowledge of all of them, right? So this field is developing a lot. I would suggest that there are, these courses which happen. Explore them, explore online that what suits you, because AI is mostly about, how you deploy your robotics and other skills, which you can always absorb. For instance, I was looking the similar kind of work for my brother, and there are these courses which are happening in, I think, by these institutes. Like we used to have, I do not know if I recall, Aptel or something. It used to call 2 decades ago, but there are similar kind of institutes which have come up: Ninjas, Robo Ninjas, and Code Ninja, something of that. There are these many institutes which are providing these kind of courses. Do watch out for them, explore. I may not have the names readily available with me, but there are many of them which are offering.
Ma'am, but these type of thing is having future for the 1 decade. But after 2 or 3, will it work?
See, I would say, Akshit, as we are looking in the future, manual work is going to go down, as we saw in last 18 months. You are working, you are studying from home, right? Did you ever imagine in your life it could happen? This is artificial intelligence, not to that level. It should be called as artificial intelligence. This is called digitization, but artificial intelligence is a step forward. So I do not know whether I need to add further to it, but this itself demonstrates this shift happens very shortly if the circumstances allow. And I can guarantee, everywhere you look at, digitization is the word. I personally, the electricity that you're getting in your homes, this all is being provided by Tata Power, and they have fully digitized systems. That is why as soon as your power goes out, within few minutes you get your power back, because they know exactly at that point in time through the computer generated system that this is the fault. I don't have to manually, supervise the entire line to see, acha, yahan tar toota hai ji. You understood, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So it is going to be there for longer than you think.
Thank you. Yes, next, Mehak. Yes, beta.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, I wanted to ask that, ma'am, is job your worth to clear the IPM exam if I'm just not able to clear it from very few marks? Ma'am, IPM exam, I am.
IPM, could you please
Ma'am,
expand it again?
I am. Ma'am, I.
IIM,
Yes, ma'am.
IIM.
I. Yes, ma'am.
So could you repeat your question? Sorry, I was just concentrated
Uh,
on that.
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I wanted to ask that is it worth to give a drop year to clear that exam? Because, ma'am, I've seen that students are not able to clear it the first go. Like, ma'am, my sister wasn't able to clear it from very few marks.
See, Mehak, that's a very, I would say, personal question to me. In the sense that, first of all, IIM, you will be talking about the masters, right? Not for bachelors. So you will be
Yes,
appearing for
ma'am.
MBA, no? Yeah. Now
Yes, ma'am.
that would come to you once you know to what level you have put in your efforts during your bachelor's also. If you think you're ready and you have covered the course adequately for the appearance of the exam, I do not think why you need to drop an year, right? Even if you drop an year, you do not know, you do not have a guarantee that you will go through it. Still, you could be left out by 2 marks. So personally, dropping of the year is something that you need to decide, because you will be a year behind your colleagues, and that is absolutely fine. It is not a rat race that I have to be in the job market before anybody else gets in. What feels comfortable to you should be there, right?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Parth. Yes, beta.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, I wanted to ask you about that in financial management, if I would like to go. So, in 12th class, which subjects I should be strong? I mean, which subject I should be excel in?
See, financial management, if you talk about Parth, financial management, if you define, I do not know what you define it, but what we define financial management is about accounting, your profits and loss statements, and all that. So automatically it hints towards accounting. But not only that, when you talk about financial management, it's a very part kind of, understanding. It should always be together with the corporate governance, because if you are making an entry in the system, if you do not know that what kind of companies act requirements I have to adhere to, you will be doing blunders and auditors will come running after you. So financial management along with corporate governance is what you need to focus on together. And in that context, accounting and business studies, I would say, would be better. But again, take your call. Read about it. If you have that interest, read about it, because I have become more specific in my own domain, right? I may not be able to give you 100% of the picture of what it means. So read about it. Google Baba is everywhere. He throws up nice answers, right? But this is my short answer from what we do, financial management and corporate governance in the bank.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Surbi. Next, Madhav.
Yeah, good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, what courses can be alternate after 12th commerce? And ma'am, or CA and CS are only powerful courses in commerce?
So, Madhav, there are many alternate options as we discussed. It could be investment banking, it could be certified financial analyst, it could be, banking roles through bank PO, it could be, investment bankers, mergers and acquisitions. There are just multiple opportunities that are there. And I would say that CA and CS are there for many decades and are going to be there for many decades. So that is like a more, I would say, stable field to enter into. But then I would not say that they are the only strongest candidates in the courses. You should explore more, and you should look for more opportunities like investment banking and all, depending again on, sorry, your strengths and weaknesses. Of course, MBO is eternal, that you can do anytime.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Ojasvi. You have raised your hand, beta.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, according to you, at which age one should be get settled in a career or become a banker?
Ojasvi, again, it's a very personal question. I would say when you think you are right to get into the job market, you must. But to get into the job market, you need to have right ammunition, right tools in your back pocket. And for that, you need to first understand that what interests you. So again, I have seen many people who took, for instance, as I think Mehak was asking about taking a drop year and appearing and reappearing and reappearing for the civil services exams. And when they couldn't get through it, they did another degree to get into the job market. So it's all very personal. It depends on what you want to do. Okay, Vijayasree?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, Gautam. Yes, beta.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, I want to ask what educational course would you recommend who wants to advance in financial management?
Financial management, there are many actually. There is this, of course, CA, are the bread and butter kind of, roles, the courses. But apart from that, CFA is very, very, well recognized course internationally. That is the one that you could look at. Certified financial planner, okay to some extent, but financial planning is not, no, it won't come in the financial management. I would say that CA, CS, and this one, CFA. But then again, I would say that keep watching out for more, because colleges are introducing more and more courses as we move forward. So I may not be keeping abreast of all of them, but please do look out for them. But I would suggest, if you want to be a financial management person, you need one of those chartered degrees that gives you teeth. And I knew some people who have done CA, CS, and CFA. That's how people build their degrees. They keep on working and adding degrees, keep on working, adding degrees, right?
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, Srishti. Yes, beta.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, as you mentioned the field of actuarial sciences, I want to get into it. So, is the scope between India and abroad the same? Because I've heard people saying that in the scope in India is lesser comparative to the scope in abroad.
See, it depends on if you want to go abroad. Are you planning to stay in India? That's what you are trying to say. Okay. I would say that, again, people would have their own risk perceptions. As I already said, I may be, loading my risk perceptions onto you. Do not get bogged down by that. See, even if there are lesser opportunities are there, right? And that's why opportunities are less, because we do not have many actuaries. And because you do not have many actuaries, that is why it's high profile. Keep a focus straight. And again, at this stage, I would say keep focusing on actuaries, but do not leave other doors closed for you. Because it might become a very depressing state of thing if, in case, you get, any lowdown on your actuaries curriculum itself, or if you are unable to clear any of the papers. So please keep other options open.
Also, ma'am, as we can do it from different domains, like from India or from UK. So, what are the major differences between them?
I will not be able to comment on that, Srishti. I do not want to misguide you. But I would suggest that why don't you go to one of the career counselors, and they would be having all the details, because this is the very, very important question. Even I kept, myself into multiple boats, that what should I do, where should I, and in the meantime, I lost many opportunities. Career counselor, if you can approach one of them, even in school, if there is, please approach them, get the information, and get the right guidance. I do not want to misguide any of you, because you are at a very turning point of your career. Apologies for that.
Thank you. Yes, Bhumi.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I would like to ask that is CFB a good career option ahead?
See, Bhumi, absolutely. CFA is a very good career option. But again, I would say that if you want to do just it, please reconsider. Back it up with the graduation degree for sure.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, Bhumi. 12C, another Bhumi.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
beta.
Ma'am, I want to ask about the career options in risk management.
Risk management. So risk management again depends on which kind of risk you are looking at. So there are corporate level risks, you have stock markets, you have many more things that you have in the risk management. So you have to think about where it is. But risk management again, as I was mentioning, is any of the fields can get into the risk management, because risk could be from accounting, from your, profit and loss statements, from auditors, from other perspectives. It could be from your raising of the debt and equity from the market. It could be from the way you manage your portfolio. If you are investing in a power project A or B or C or all of them, to what extent? So risk management depends on all these. So any of the degrees could get into it, but then there are specialized masters are also happening these days on risk management, right? So that is what you need to think about.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you, ma'am.
next, Sneha. Yes, better you have raised your hand.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I want to ask that what are the qualifications to be treasury and what courses you would suggest for that?
So on the treasury again, Sneha, I would suggest that you need to check out with the career counselor first, because there are again no hard and fast rules that only these people will get into the treasury. Treasury, see, when you are into a treasury, you need to have a broader aspect of all the segments where you are working on. So any of the fields again can get into. It's a very specialized field, right? And it would come after your bachelor's, right? So think about from that perspective that if you have to say, if you are in a mint of a bank of RBI, for instance. Mint is where you print the money, right? So if you have to be there, you really are loaded with a lot of responsibility. So again, treasury, again, depending on which role would be there, what kind of interest areas you will have to pick that specialized field, I would suggest. But any of the fields you can begin with, and then keep on working on how you can get into the treasury. Again, do consult career counselor, because I have no as such contacts with any of the treasury people, but this is something that many of us considered, and many of my other friends and their children are considering. And then I did a bit of research and have presented to you, so that you are aware that these options do exist. I didn't know that treasury was one when I was in class 12th or 11th, right?
Thank you. Yes, Soumya, do you want?
Ma'am, I have to ask that, ma'am, is economics honors is good choice in IT, and ma'am, what are the opportunities?
So you are asking economics honors is good in IT? Did you say IT? I heard
Yes,
IT. IT is information technology, so economics honors and IT, I didn't follow the two. But any case, let me reflect on the economics honors. See, for me, honors happened by chance. As I mentioned, I couldn't get through. And in any case, I wanted to do economics honors, which happened eventually. But economics honors, of course, it's a more of a forecast based role, right? Projections based role. You're looking through the future. You're coming with policy interventions. You're coming with the regulatory interventions. So the focus is more on it. When you come to the actual operations, the focus becomes very limited on the economics. So depending on if you have that nag for having policy, regulatory, running forecasting models, all these kind of things becomes very important. So depending on that, you have multiple opportunities. For instance, some of my friends and colleagues, they are bankers, some of them are civil servants, some of them are for me, like for my case, I am like in development bank. Some of them are abroad with consulting firms. Many of them are with the are economists with the various banks like RBI, SBI, etc. So there is no dearth of opportunities. Economics itself is a very, very powerful subject. By the way, I do not practice economics anymore in my job. I have left it almost 13 years ago or 12 years ago. But again, the thing is that the degrees help you to get into a very good kind of, reputed profiles. And this is what economics honors does to you. And it gives you the bandwidth to think through logical reasoning, what can happen in the future, the probabilistic thinking, all that comes in the picture, right?
Thank you.
okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, Ashlesha.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am. I want to ask that how to start a career in corporate finance.
Corporate finance, again, Ashlisha, the thing is that corporate finance is something which would begin with finance, right? So first you need to know the basics of the finance, and that would come from your degrees, as other colleagues of yours were asking about For instance, BCom, but BCom I would not suggest to go standalone for. Club it with a professional degree like CA or with CFA, and then you can think about the corporate finance in a better manner, because finance, wherever financial management wherever comes along, you have to have a professional degree. Then only you will have a good value in the market.
Thank you. Yes, Yakshit?
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. For banking, you have recommended 3 to 4 degrees. Like there are different banks, public sector, private sector, World Bank, Central Bank. So there is any type of degree that can fall in all the banks.
Hi,
Easiest way.
$1 million question. So again, as I was mentioning, maybe I was too fast. In the public sector banks, if you have to get into, I think there are these minimum bachelor's or graduation degrees required in either accounting, BCom honors, economics honors, etc., finance. So any of those bachelor's degrees could apply. And when you are applying for public sector banks, you have to appear and clear the bank PO exam. For the private sector banks, they generally look at your previous experiences. For instance, 1 or 2 years, they sometimes do hire freshers also. But again, all these degrees what we spoke about, they do qualify for banking segment. For the World Bank, it's a different, you have to make a distinction between these public sector or public oriented, not public sector, public oriented banks, which are public sector, and private sector banks. We generally deal with the government. We do not deal with the customers directly. You will not ever hear about World Bank giving accounts to anyone or having savings account, right? So we also have engineers on board, because we are promoting infrastructure. For instance, we for that need technical people, we need finance people, we need environmental people, we need economists, we need social people. So it's multiple kind of for instance, I was an economist, but my other colleague who was a CA, another colleague was a BCom, MCom, and MBA. So this is the profile if you have to get in the development bank. But again, for the finance field, please do consider to have a professional degree. BCom honors, if you're doing, try to have another otherwise bachelor's. Maybe BCom you can do to get a bachelor's degree out there, but do have a professional degree, because BCom honors doesn't has its own legs.
Ma'am, to somehow Central Bank and the World Bank do the same work, because Central Bank also do not communicate with the public directly.
See, central bank has a different role altogether. They are the monitoring kind of bank. They manage the entire economy's money, finance, commercial banks, public banks, private banks. They manage that. We are something completely out of it. We do not manage any of the monetary systems. We are like a funding agency. We will come, we will provide financing, which could be at a lower rate, longer tenor, so that the financing cost comes down, so that we support development. But that's not all, and we bring other aspects of development: poor people, reducing poverty, maintaining ecosystem. So we are completely different.
And then public and private, which one is better? As in private sector, there are many scams nowadays. So what will be the recommendation?
See, scams depend on the people and their greed, I would say. And that's what I said, that even for the civil services exams, we have to give something back to our country, and we should always keep that bigger agenda. We are, because of what we are due to this country. And people who do this will ultimately be, held responsible for. Private sector, of course, it's a highly paid job as compared to the public sector, but very strenuous. There is no generally time for your working hours. 9 to 5 works with public sector, but not for private sector. You are generally on the toes, but again, you are in good company. You are always in learning mode. Public sector तो relaxed हो जाता है ना, कि चलो 9 to 5 डब्बा बंद, back to home types, right? So it depends on what kind of personality you have. But public sector is also getting on their toes after recent digitizations and outreach and Prime Minister Modi's interventions and all. Many things are happening. So, but there is a distinction between the work profiles in the private and the public.
Okay,
Okay, thank you,
beta,
ma'am.
only one or two more questions only. We have more of time. Rushil? Yes, beta.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, I wanted to ask that I'm a non-math student in commerce, so can I do BMS?
BMS would be, sorry.
Bachelor of Management Studies.
So I do not see any issue as such, Rochelle, on that. I'm not sure why you asked that, because there must be some question in your mind, or you may have read it somewhere that there could be a problem. See, management, again, like MBA is a universal kind of degree. Anybody can get into it. In the foreign countries, by the way, people do take medical with economics, for instance, as their side subject, and then become full grown economist. Imagine. So, I'm just trying to draw parallels, that there is no as such constraint which comes to my mind that why you cannot do management after being a non-med student, or being a commerce student, or even being a non-commerce or a humanities student. But you need to just look at the fields. You may not get into maybe finance, MBA finance, but can get into MBA HR, right? So those
Okay,
restrictions
ma'am.
could be
Thank you
there.
so much.
Okay, Tanish. Okay, the last question, bache.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, I wanted to ask how can we get a career into IT field after doing commerce?
That's a tough question, Tanish. So I have been struggling a lot, not because of me, but some of the people whom I know who wanted to get into the IT. So it's like, if you do not have an additional subject so far in IT, then it would be like relearning the entire thing. You may want to consider to keep, enrolling yourself in the basics courses, or basic courses, etc. on the IT first, before you can get into any of these advanced courses or fields, because ultimately for that you would need to understand the basics. And I have seen that people who straight away went into the coding but unable to cope up with it, because the way you need to learn the language, you cannot just learn straight away into it. Coding, artificial intelligence, robotics, this all needs the codes have to be in a particular language. So that you need to start learning. Like there are Python, there are many more, some plus plus etc courses are there. So pick that up. I would suggest again not to leave your core field, which is a commerce, for the time being. Keep doing maybe a lighter course like BCom honors, and if you are interested in IT, build on those skills. Then I would say nobody can stop you. Nobody can stop you, because you are as good as anybody else. And it's all in our mind ultimately, Tanish, that if you do not have these kind of hesitations, nobody can stop you. So do not get bogged down by anyone, but you have to have your basics right. Please build on the basics.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for such an interesting and informative session. Now, I would like to invite Srishti to propose vote of thanks. Yes, Srishti?
Yes, ma'am, just a second. I would like to extend my gratitude to our honorable guest of the day, Ms. Surbhi Goyal. Thank you so much, ma'am, for inspiring and encouraging us with your wisdom on this special day. It gave deep insights into some interesting facts. I'm pretty sure the precious knowledge that you gave us will definitely help us in our studies and future. The recording of the session will be available on the school's YouTube channel, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you once again, Survi. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. This is really an honor to come back to our school and help the children, and it's really an honor. Thank you so much. You have been a very patient audience, and I really like that you really asked very pointed questions. I know that our future is in bright hands with all of you there. And please do not be hassled or constrained by anybody else's thoughts, their risks. Make your own way. You will be able to do it. That's my only recommendation to all of you. Please keep on exploring. Do not think if I failed in one, I am a failure. No, no, no. Never ever. Just hold tight. You will be there soon. Okay? All the best.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks you very much.
गीता मैम वेल डन, बहुत अच्छा था.
Okay, thank you, Shweta ma'am.
सुरभि बहुत स्वीट है यार, और एक वो लड़की भी, तेरे तेरे पास बहुत प्यारे प्यारे बच्चे हैं यहाँ पर भी। कुछ
Just 1 minute.
मैंने